Been a pattern for the last 2 years or so. Once these girls they say my fiance, it's a wrap on anything that the dude does is stupid, any kind of abuse,
Here I am. Sorry about that. What a week. What a week. I finally got me a column out your girl Candace. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I finally got a column out of her. Yeah. There's 26 questions in here too, I think. Let me see. What did she say? Hold on. Let me just double check. Yeah, there's 26 today. That's my punishment. Should be her. She the one that made everything be late. Anyway, let me enough of me rambling on and on. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of our supposed to be weekly advice show. What the fuck, whenever, because it could be whenever. Like it used to be Tuesdays, then I switched to Wednesdays, and I switched it to I think Saturday for a minute for a brief. I forgot why. That didn't last long though. And then I had to move it to Sunday. And so here we go. This is where it's going to be for the time being until I figure out what else I'm gonna do for money because I need my weeks. You know, the meetings keep running late, and I'd be like all in San Jose and stuff, and then that all that traffic on 680. So by the time I get back up here, it'd be like 7 o'clock. So, and I know my East Coast people, you know, they're in the bed, so nobody trying to stay awake that late, and I don't blame you. Hello, everyone. Jim Doll, I know. Dang, where have you been? I thought you died. Not seriously, but you know what I mean. People be like fading out and going whatever, doing whatever. Um, Let me see here. I just want to make sure my internet is not acting stupid today. Let's see. We'll keep an eye on it and make sure my daughter doesn't get on and start gaming. That tends to make it drag. Anyway, let me get started. We got 26 questions for those who like to keep track. If you've never been here before, or like Jim Doll, you haven't been here in years, maybe you forgot. These people have sent in their questions in advance. They email them on the Debsterism.com website, and then there's like a form you have to fill out, and it goes into the inbox for the show. And then my cousin reviews all the submissions for like, you know, the last week or two, and she picks 25 to 26 sometimes, you know, 20, sometimes 30 letters for me to do live on the air. Now, the trick with this show is I don't see these questions until I start reading them to you. That's why we do it that way. So it's a surprise to both of us. I mean, you know, at some point she might decide she's tired of this and I have to start doing it myself. And so the format will be slightly different. But this is the way we've been doing it for several years. And so I'm often just as shocked and appalled by what's going on with them as you are. So let's get started. The first question number one. This is a young lady, 22 to 27 age group. She's African American and a Leo from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Summary of the issue: I got called a gold digger on a date. Girl, you should have seen on the new intro. That intro just debuted last week. I put something about Dustavius, but only one person caught it. At least only one person commented on finding it. Dustavius Nim. So if you go back and you look at the intro again, you know, watch for it. Okay, so she says she went she went on this crazy date and she wants to tell us about it to get our feedback. Okay, so the date started off normal. We talked about work, favorite foods, travel dreams, etc. Then out of nowhere, he leaned back in the chair and looked at me like he was about to solve a riddle. Here we go. Especially, this it got to be one of them calling her gold digger. He's one of them what you bring to the table type of dudes. So he says, let me ask you something. Would you date a guy who makes less than you? I answered honestly, no. His smile dropped like I just insulted his whole existence. Wow, seriously, that's shallow. Money isn't everything, you know. I calmly stirred my drink. Well, it's not everything, but it matters. Compatibility isn't just about feelings to me, it's also about lifestyle. If I work really hard to provide a certain standard for myself, I want a partner who's on the same page. He shook his head, clearly offended. That's gold digger energy right there. And she says, so I say, no, gold diggers use people for money. I have my own money. I just want a partner who can match me. There's a difference. So he kept insisting I was wrong for wanting what I wanted, but I just smiled, asked for my bill, paid, and left. That's right. That's how Leos do things. Boop, deuces. We're not gonna argue with you. We just gonna deuce out. Good job, girl. I grabbed me some dessert on the way home. That's what I'm talking about. Dad, my income is 130,000 annually, excluding my side hustle, as it doesn't really have consistent earnings and is more of a hobby. Why in the world would he think I was trying to dig his penny ante gold? Cause that's how broke men think. Do you notice, like when guys have money, they're great earners, they're high on the food chain. They never say stuff like that. They never say stuff like that because to ask a woman such a thing is just ridiculous. I mean, he over there balling like 9,000. What are you gonna be worried about your 22 cents for? Especially if he's a kind of, like an older guy who has a mentality that men are the providers and women provide what used to be called creature comforts, which money can't buy, which is like warmth, emotion, empathy. So they listen to your problems. They make sure you're nourished and taken care of. Women provide that kind of stuff to a relationship, whereas men, used to provide money. Well, now men want women to do all of those other things plus provide the money. They want you to do like 2 or 3 jobs while they just do one. And they don't understand that that burden on women is one of the reasons why women around the world are waking up to the fuck job, my job that marriage is, and saying, "Oh no, I'm cool. I don't want none of that. They benefit me to get married to you. It's not helping me." If you have any doubts about that or you want more information about that whole analysis and stuff, look at my video series called WIIFM. I'll try to remember to, put a link up there. It's what's in it for me. And I mean, it may sound rather transactional, but ladies, I mean, just look, you're going to hear the letters. I'm sure we got some in here where the women just give, 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 and they don't get anything back. They don't get anything really back emotionally. They don't even get commitment. They don't get nothing financially. The men don't buy them gifts. They don't want to take them nowhere. They don't do anything. They want the women to go have, and they want to get all the benefits of having a wife without the commitment or the legal ties to you. That's why I say women who move in with dudes are stupid. You are dumb, like duper 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 super duper dumb to do that. He should live in his own house and pay his own bills all by himself, or find somebody else who could, like a male roommate or something. But it should not be you. That's you waking up to you every day and having you there cooking for him and loving him up and stuff. Listen to his problems and dealing with his relatives and all that old shit. That should be something that is exclusive to the role of a wife. Those of you who give up those services for his baby mamas and his miscellaneous stray kids, you're stupid. Okay, that's all I got to say. You dumb. You don't value yourself or what you have to offer in a relationship at all. Yeah, girl, I'm telling you. Ooh, and they just so gross. I mean, like I was telling y'all last week, I think of my brothers. I love my brothers to death, don't get me wrong. I mean, I go to battle for them, which I used to do when we were kids. We fight, but other people, we fight other people. But when you just think about it, I mean, they're just like stinky. Men are stinky. They're stinky people. And so it's just, if you like your house smelling like flowers and being all pretty and with lace and bright colors and stuff like that, you don't want no man in there fucking it all up and blasting sports on you and put his stinky feet on your coffee table and stuff. Mm-mm. Go to your house and do all that. I'm telling you. So, lady, girl, I think you handled that really well. As for why they do it, like I said, it's only the broke dudes that do that. The ones who, grew up, either they are still broke even though they have a little job, or they grew up real poor and they haven't quite got left that, that poverty mindset. So and they have like this, some of them have a pimp attitude too. That's the third option, where they look for a woman that they can use. So they want you when they ask, especially with this, lean back in the chair kind of attitude. It's like he's requesting that you prove yourself that you're good enough to be with him. That's what the game is. And a lot of women fall for it because they don't know the game. Leos really do not tend to fall for that because we don't really give a fuck what you got. We be caring about what we got. And if you ain't giving us some of what you got to make us have more of what we got, then we don't not interested in what you're talking about. And asking us what we got, how much we make, and what's in our bank account, where our investments are. I actually had a guy ask me those kind of things. Ask me how much are you? This was years ago too, when I was still in my 20s, and asked me, well, do you have a retirement? What are you going to do about retirement? I'm like, "Hey, who knows? I might not make it to retirement, because I was living hard and fast in that time. That's when I was traveling with my girlfriend lived, who worked for Continental Airlines. We was all over the place. And I was like, that was the furthest thing from my mind. I was like, shit, I might die in a plane crash or something next week. I wasn't thinking about that. But it was just really a bizarre question for me to, I was thinking, I was like, that was weird. But we basically trying to figure out, how I manage money and if I had enough money socked aside that he could be tapping it. I mean, there would be no other reason for him to ask me that, especially so early in the getting to know him process. It's like, you don't even know my favorite color yet, but you want to know what's all in my bank account? Nigga, fuck you. I'm not even doing that. I'm going to talk to you twice. And if you ain't talking about some shit I want to hear, then we will not have a date. I'm not gonna be on the phone with no man for a week or two or months and all these things that these girls be doing, wasting all that time. Like I keep telling y'all, you're placing a value on your time. When you get older, maybe it's like me, but I've always been like this. When time is finite. You don't get that back. Once you waste your time on a person or in a situation, it's gone forever. You cannot recoup those losses. You cannot get that time back. That energy is gone. That investment of whatever that you gave to that person, that situation, that job, that club, whatever, is gone. So you need to be very, very prudent about where you expend your energies and where you invest your time and who you invested in. So think about that. Is that being selfish? No. That's I mean, I wish more women would think like that. I mean, put some value on yourself. You are, you have a lot to offer. Your time is important. And even if you don't do it nothing but reading a book, that's still something that you're doing for you to bring pleasure to your life and to peace of mind to your mind. So I don't know. I don't get it. There you go, Mary Elizabeth. Good to see you. Haven't seen you for a long time. It's like people are starting to roll back up in here. You learned that the hard way, Ash? Oh, pray do tell. You have to. It's time for a side story. It's just, I don't know. I just don't get it. So I'm glad she to see that this was going in direction. She was not trying to be bothered. She got herself and was like, boop, gone. Yes. Hi, Cece. No, you not, Jim. Oh my God. This girl, she's just too black for me. She's too black. Okay, question number 2. This is a young lady, 22 to 27, from St. Louis. So I'm an issue. 2 relationships in a row where the man lied about being single. What's wrong with me? Why are you thinking something that's wrong with you is wrong with them? You're thinking about this wrong. You're taking responsibility for grown people's errant ways. That's what you're doing. And blaming yourself for it. But let's see what else you're doing that's crazy. I'm in my 30s and I have a stable. Oh, they checked the wrong. She must have checked the wrong age group box. I'm in my 30s and I have a stable life, career, job, education, but I seem to have a knack for picking the worst men. My first long-term relationship was with a man I thought I knew well because we'd been friends for years and he always seemed very respectable. He actually had a reputation at work for leading causes for empowering women, etc. When we first started dating and he only wanted to come over to my place, I started having doubts. One day he confessed that he actually wasn't broken up and still lived with his girlfriend. I was literally shell shocked. Excuse me. I broke up with him immediately and he turned into a different person. Started calling me, escalating, yelling, said that he had the conversation to break up with her, etc. Years later, one of my friends told me they still live together and that he apparently has had a past Nook Nook related charge that I didn't know about either. After I finally recovered from that, I met another guy. I had some red flags early on, but okay, once they say but, it's over. He was also very open and communicative to assuage my concerns, telling me that he had some financial concerns, was divorced, had some legal issues in the past, had a child with someone he wasn't married to, and all that. Okay, and you didn't run? That should have already been a deal breaker, but I think I wasn't as recovered as I believed because I kept talking to him instead of cutting ties. It was hard not to see him because we participated in similar activities in the neighborhood. He initiated Nook Nook before I was ready, but I went along with it because we did have some chemistry. Stupid, I know. He said, I love you very quickly, then started talking about marriage, even looking at engagement rings. He was very, very convincing. I asked why I hadn't met his family yet if he was thinking about engagement. He never had an answer. When I kept pushing, I found out he was still living with the mother of his child. They even slept in the same bed occasionally because her older kids would come home from college and take up the spare bedrooms. I literally vomited when I found out. He claimed they had broken up, and when confronted, he backtracked and said they didn't have that conversation. I also found out he had filed for bankruptcy previously and just didn't think to tell me. End quote. He got sued for debt and didn't think to tell me. When I would confront him, he would say that he wasn't hiding it. I still don't know the details of what exactly his legal problems were. I started feeling like I was going crazy, so I broke up with him. He kept contacting me saying he was going to fix it as soon as he could afford to move out, he would. He still is. I'm trying to decide whether to tell the mother of their child. Both of them have financial problems, what I can hear, but I don't want the kid to be affected. Okay, I'm about to cuss you out. I just can't believe I wasted so many years on these men and actually believed I was going to get married. I still don't feel like I know what reality is. I haven't told my friends or family because I'm just too ashamed. I'm looking for a therapist, but so far the 21 I've interviewed were not helpful at all. Any words of advice would be greatly appreciated. See, this is when I kind of wish that I had a gone, continued on my journey to become get my little master's degree and stuff and become a therapist. I was on that track at first in undergrad, and then I was like, because when I started figuring what you had to do for the internship to get your hours and all that kind of stuff, I was like, I'm not interested in doing all that. And then you got to get the license. It's too much rigmarole. I'm a free spirit. I just want to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it. And when you have a license, that doesn't really work. So, what I have to say to you, young lady, is when you see red flags, I don't want to hear but. The only thing I want to hear is and. He has red flags and I left that behind. He had red flags and I cut that shit off immediately. That's what I should be hearing, not but. I should be hearing and because that's the story that you should be telling. One thing you should not be doing as an adult woman in your 30s is wasting time on a situation like this. Well, it's the same story. That's what I mean. It's like it always surprises me because, like when I was growing up, they didn't have the internet. So if you didn't have an older relative, usually some older male relative, your daddy, grandpa, uncle, something like that, older brother, spitting the game in play to you, then there was really not too much opportunity for you to learn it except by experience. I mean, I guess some older women might share, but they don't really talk about it. So, but this is the information age. So any and everything that you need to know about the opposite sex, protecting yourself financially, protecting yourself emotionally, dealing with, nut jobs, identifying nut jobs, every single thing that you need to know to date smarter is on the web, just on this channel. But, I mean, I'm not saying that I have all the answers, but there's like, hundreds of people that do something similar to what I do. Some of them are better than others, but I mean, between, using your Google thing or going on YouTube or whatever, you should be able to find the answers to most of your questions delivered by somebody with some goddamn sense. Okay, so when I see stuff like this and these girls writing in and I'm like, and they're on the internet, they're using the internet. What the fuck do you do on the internet all damn day? Would you just text people? You don't do anything to brighten to make your life, your world smarter, to make yourself get more knowledge, to help you make smarter choices, to help you age better. You don't use the access tools that you have for anything to advance yourself. You just use it for dumb shit like texting. And so this is the problem I have with young people. And this AI is just going to really throw stuff off because they are already getting charges for using AI on school papers and stuff like that. And at some jobs, they don't even let you use AI now. If you're not writing it yourself, then you just ass out. And so it's creating an interesting dilemma. But with that, I'm going down a rabbit hole again. But just to talk about women making these stupid choices. To me, there's no excuse. You just is being intentionally stupid. That's what it is. Because all you got to do is search. He's doing this or that on the web, and all the answers from people who had the same problem will come up from this show as well as other, platforms that have those kind of questions and answer things. Yeah, girl, that movie was such a trip. I remember when I saw it, I thought the world cannot be this stupid, and yet here we are. Yeah, he wasn't hiding it. Well, he sure didn't volunteer. But then on the other hand, I have to say I can't be mad at him about the bankruptcy and stuff because y'all wasn't really you wasn't a couple like that. You weren't like on the where you were merging finances, about to live together, open up a bank, joint bank account, something like that. So his financial problems, along with his income, was really your business. So on that, I'm not mad about him, about him keeping himself. But this hiding that he's living still living with the baby mama is interesting. But see, this is why you, as a woman, you don't let them come to your house. They don't come to my house. Let everybody come to my house. We going to your house because I'm trying to see how you living. And we ain't going to no hotel, and we ain't going to your mama's house. We're going to where you lay your nappy head at night. I want to see what's going on, where you living, how you living, who you living with. And as a woman, you can walk, even if they try to call themselves removing all the evidence of a woman having been there. We are like, we can find some shit, okay? That's why everybody used to make jokes about how long it took them to find Osama bin Laden. They said all they had to do is find some wife and say that, he's cheating on his wife or something. They would have found his ass within 24 hours. But, it's just really sad that this keeps happening and these women are not utilizing the tools to get the information that they need to help them make smarter choices and protect themselves better. Okay. So I don't really know what to say there. Let's move on. Question number 3. This is a young male in the 20 to 34 age group from San Antonio, Texas. The young lady in question is 22 to 27. So he's 20 to 34, she's 22 to 27. Okay. Summary of the issue. My girlfriend wants me to stop talking to my best friend, who's a female, after some altercations. The issue started at a barbecue, a small gathering with 4 young people. My best friend, me, my girlfriend, and my brother's girlfriend. Where's the brother? And my parents and my brother's girlfriend's parents. Well, that's more than 4 people. Oh, 4 young people, I see. My girlfriend was first happy and engaged with almost everyone. My best friend was not there at the beginning, but joined us about an hour later. Me and my girlfriend picked up my best friend from the train station, and my girlfriend immediately made her feel welcome, and they talked a bit. My girlfriend was friendly and open, and she made an effort to make my best friend, the girl, feel welcome since she is new to everyone except me. She was happy to talk to my best friend just a little bit, but she quickly felt excluded, especially because my best friend did not speak to her once we got to the barbecue. Instead, my best friend only talked to the girlfriend of my brother and was completely engaged in that conversation and also sat her with back to my girlfriend. My girlfriend felt ignored, even if it wasn't intentional, and that made her feel uncomfortable, especially since she was also a new environment for her. Afterwards, I tried to resolve the situation, but unfortunately, I communicated things in a way that created even more misunderstandings. My best friend thought that my girlfriend could have said something, but I also think it was not possible in this scenario because she was so closed off, which made it very hard to say something to join the conversations if they didn't make any effort to make the conversation more open. Also, I think it's disrespectful to not talk to my girlfriend at all since she was making an effort to make her feel welcome. My girlfriend was not expecting to talk to her a lot, just friendly small talk. Okay, but she got ignored. Okay, you just went on and on. My best friend got the impression that my girlfriend had told me to confront her, which made her feel like my girlfriend was trying to turn me against her. Because of that, my best friend ended up saying some really harsh things about my girlfriend in a phone call. She said my girlfriend was childish, attention seeking, and reminded her of someone from the past that we both have a negative view on. We later talked again, and my best friend apologized. She understood that much of what happened was based on wrong assumptions, and she She said she would act differently next time and she was sorry for hurting my girlfriend with her words. She also thought that she had been attentive enough, for example, by showing her something on her phone and leaning toward her, but now she understands it didn't come across that way. Despite the apology, my girlfriend still feels hurt. One of the main reasons that the apology wasn't directed to her personally, it was only shared with me. Yeah. From her perspective, she was the one being warm and welcoming, yet she ended up being excluded. That's why it feels unfair to her to just move on and act like everything is okay. She still feels disrespected, and right now she's not ready for me to resume contact with my best friend because it would feel like her feelings are being dismissed. What can I do now? I don't want to make my girlfriend feel like I dismiss her feelings, but I also don't want to throw away a 9-year old, very good friendship. Well, I'm thinking that friendship ain't really as good as you like to imagine it is, because that was a bitch move right there. She's sitting up there talking to the brother's girlfriend, and she knows you're supposed to be her best friend, and she just turning her back to the girl, not really talking to her, showing her some shit on her phone or some basic shit like that. So what you need to do, sir, is man the fuck up. What you do is you go to this best female friend you have and say, look, what you did was foul. It's like, you know, that's my lady, and you trying to be in a situation where you're going to be my best friend. That means you're going to be around the both of us a lot from the future. I mean, if we stay best friends, that is. So what I want you to do is I want you to bring your ass to some. We're gonna meet up, and you're gonna apologize to her. You apologize to me, but you didn't do this shit to me. So you're gonna apologize to her, and you're gonna tell her that you never gonna treat her like that again. And if you can't do that, then I want you to block my number because I'm ready to block yours. And then this shit here is over. Because one thing, when you disrespect my woman, you disrespect me. And one thing I'm not going to do is tolerate anybody, especially your ass, disrespecting me. So that's how it's going to be. When are you available? And then she gonna either say that she is, or she gonna say she don't want to do it. If she says she don't want to do it, you know what the plan is: block, block, blocky, block. And if she doesn't, you set it up. You tell your girlfriend we're gonna go meet so and so over here, and she's gonna apologize to you. And she better be right. I want you to feel okay with it because she is my best friend, and I would like to have situations where we can all be social together. But if this doesn't pan out right, then I'll just have to back away from her. But I want you to give it an open, honest listen. Can we do that? And then she'll say yes because she sounds like, the sensitive type that wants to please you. And then you move on from there. But this is for you. This is your ball. The ball's in your court. It's your raggedy friend and it's your girlfriend. So the one who's, able to orchestrate this solution is only you. Okay? That you need to stand up. I mean, it really bothers me when I see young men in situations like this because this is the kind of stuff that you would go to your daddy about, or you would already know it because these are some life lessons that he would have been giving you as you were maturing. But since obviously don't have that kind of relationship with your father, or you don't have one and don't around at all, I'm telling you, that's how you do things. As a man, you have two women that you love in your life. The one in the middle, which is you, is the source of all conflicts and all solutions. Everything about those relationships depends on you because you're the common denominator. And I don't really give a fuck about, well, that's woman stuff and all this kind of stuff. No, they would have never knew each other if it wasn't for your ass. So you are going to be the one to step up and make sure everything is okay and everybody's happy. If you, as an adult male, cannot do that, then you have no business in a relationship, or you don't need to have any female friends. One of the two. So you figure it out. Which one is going to work for you? Yeah, she might have liked him at some point and really, feel kind of awkward about dealing with the girlfriend. That's the vibe I'm getting. Not like because, he would have already rejected her. So I don't think is really keeping up hope that something's going to jump off. But her behavior sounds like she's really struggling with the fact that he has somebody new that he likes and it's not her. Not like, you know what I mean? It's not like she wants them to end it necessarily. She's struggling with her own feelings about it. So she had to keep herself separate and apart from the girlfriend and not be around her that much because that would stir up her feelings of envy. I think it's more that than anything else. But I really don't get what problem because sir, this is going to be on you to make sure that this is smoothed over as quickly as possible. Now I need to ask you guys a question. Is this being laggy on your end? I'm seeing a few things. I need to go in here and see if my daughter is playing on her computer or not. because that's when it usually happens, when she's gaming on my thing at the same time I'm trying to do my show. Yes, no. Is anybody experiencing any kind of lag? It is lagging. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to put my uh, intermission thing up for a minute. Where is that thing? Oh, here it is. Um, I don't know what's going on. The internet just acting janky today. She's not on it, so I don't know what's going on. But we will do what we can do. Get this. Oops, that wasn't the move to make. All right. So where did I leave off? Shoot, it's disturbing messing up my flow here, making me get all discombobulated. Okay, oh, here it is. Look at this thing just messing up. All right. This is about as good as it's going to get. All right, let's move on here. So we left off at question number 3. He didn't want to throw away his 9-year relationship with that ratchet girl. Okay, now we move on to question number 4. This is a young man as well, 22 to 27 from Aurora, Illinois. Summary issue. I walked out of my mom's birthday party, he says. Last night was my mom's birthday, so the whole family got together at a nice Italian restaurant we usually go to. About halfway through, my brother stood up to make a toast. Instead of saying something really sweet about my mom, he decided to joke, quote, about how I'm the family screw up who can't keep a job or a relationship. Happy birthday, Mom. You raised three great kids, and then there's you, still trying to figure everything out. Everyone laughed, including my mom. Wow. I just sat there burning up inside. I've been through a really rough year, a divorce and a job change. And instead of support, they turned it into a punchline. I told my brother to shut up, and my dad immediately jumped in saying, "Don't ruin your mother's night." Wow, but he didn't say that to your brother. Well, we see you ain't the golden child in your family. I grabbed my stuff and left. Later, I got a barrage of texts in a family group chat saying I embarrassed the family and made it all about me. Now I'm sitting here wondering, am I being too temperamental? Was I completely justified in walking out? I can take a joke, but with the way that my mind has been recently, I took it seriously. That was, it wasn't meant to be a joke. He was taking digs at you, public digs, and making you, um, you know, like putting you on Front Street to make fun of you to get some laughs and shit at your mother's birthday party. I mean, I know it's hard when you're in the moment and you're reacting, you're reacting emotionally. But this is why I tell young men, and one of the main things that could benefit you in life is learning to control your emotions. There's a video on this channel about it. I think it might be two. I'm not sure. But anyway, controlling your emotions is the secret to success in life. You can think all kind of vile things about what you want to do to somebody, but you can't let them see that. Okay, you can't let them see that you wish that Jaws would turn into a land shark and come and munch on them. You can't think like that. But what you say in the moment, see, now let me tell you this what I went. I'm sitting there and he's, saying, and mom, and and then there was you. And I said, okay, so this is your underhanded way of telling mom that she's a fuck up as a parent because she just happened to have a good miss or good luck getting 3 that's allegedly so great. That means she's not a good mother. Why is my internet screwing up so bad? This is terrible. I don't know what's going on. Password. I wonder if somebody's using my resources. I'm gonna do that too after this show. Change the password. It's a solar eclipse. Huh. I have fiber optic. I wonder if that's affected by it. I've never had this problem with the fiber. So you're right. It might be something like that. I don't know. Since I got the fiber, it's just been smooth sailing. But this is interesting. So anyway, yeah, I would say something like that. I'm not sure if you guys caught it because the internet went down, but I was saying this would have been an opportune time to say, well, no, she got at least two fucked up kids because you right there with me. Because you think it's funny to tell a joke about your mother raising a fucked up kid in front of everybody on her birthday. So if I'm a fucked up kid, then that means she's a fucked up mama who don't know how to raise all kids right because she fucked up one of them. That's what you're saying. So she made mistakes, and both of us are messed up because you think this is a good way to celebrate your mother's birthday and honor her by ragging on her parenting skills, and then you think that it's going to be funny. Notice ain't nobody really laughing. See, when I said that, then all the smiles and laughter would have sucked dried up because they weren't thinking of it that way. He's ragging by saying that he's capping on the mother too, right? And no man. And then what about your raggedy ass daddy? Where does he play into this? What role did he play in raising his kids? Let's talk about that. Because I would have had to give dad a piece too. You sit up there thinking it's just so funny. Oh, what have you done, sir? Why do you have a fucked up kid or two fucked up sons? Why is that? What did you do to help your wife make that not happen? Nothing. So don't sit up here laughing like this shit's funny. Then I would have had to leave. But before I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna leave everybody like because they'll be shocked I would be going smooth off and telling them all about themselves. And anybody who called me later saying, that you embarrassed them, say good. Now you know what it feels like. How do you think I fucking felt? Embarrassed that I have parents like you, and embarrassed that I have a brother like that, and embarrassed that you all thought that shit was funny. That shows that my family's IQ is about 12. So yeah, it is embarrassing. You're right. And it was about me since my name was mentioned. I don't see how it couldn't have been about me. So, you maybe this is part of being, young. You don't really know what to say, or you've been raised to be a nice person and all this stuff. See, my mother did try to do that, but it didn't really stick. So I'm the asshole of my family. Everybody knows it. I'm the little jerk, and so the most like my father of any of his children, and will just tell you about yourself and use a whole bunch of profanity when I'm doing it. Yeah, the Dusties landed. Yeah, as soon as I started talking about Dusties, then shit started happening. Yes, yes. Oh, you think that was what it was? They never did give us a reason. Well, maybe they did. I don't know. I was wandering around. I went to the bar to tell you the truth. So they might have said the reason, and I was in there listening to the music and getting my drink on. So I said I tried because I didn't even really care. Once I started having my little alcohol, I lost interest in why the flight got delayed and canceled. Thanks, Leandra. Oh, let's move on. Question number 5. This is a female, 20 to 34. She's African American from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Summary of issue. Am I being a B for refusing to cook for my boyfriend after what he said about my food? Oh, wait. Okay. Deb, here's the situation. I've been with this man for about a year. He knows I'm a little kids and also meal. A lot of nice food are mixed and quick, but yesterday I got a burst of energy. I was offering a proper dinner for everyone, something hearty and homemade soul food style. So I went all out. Girl, I made fried chicken, mac and cheese, cornbread, green beans with a little garlic and butter. I seasoned everything like my grandma taught me. I floured the chicken and let it crisp up golden brown. The kitchen got hot as hell. Kids running in and out asking, "Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet?" While I'm sweating and trying not to burn myself. But when I finally plated everything up, it looked so good, like Instagram worthy good. I was proud of myself. Then my boyfriend comes home, sits at the table, and the first thing out of his mouth when he sees the plate is, "Damn, you made all this? It looks decent." Decent. Like I hadn't just been slaving hot grease for 2 hours. I took a breath and I let that slide because whatever, maybe he meant well. He digs in, takes a big bite, chews for a second, and goes, "Not bad. My mom's chicken is a little juicier though, and her mac has more cheese." Oh, oh boy, he would have got his ears ripped off. Okay. At this point, I swear my ancestors tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Don't let that slide. She is funny." So I asked, "What's wrong with mine?" And he shrugged and said, "Nothing. It's fine. It's just not like hers." Then that's when you're supposed to snatch the plate away from him and say, "To get your bitch ass up and go eat over there. And don't ever ask me to cook for you again. Because one thing I'm not appreciating is your response. I don't want you to shit. Now that you be hearing from your mother's babe, this is the best. This is wonderful. I wish we could have this every day. I just giving stuff like that. Instead, you're gonna sit up there and complain and compare me to your mama, motherfucker. Take your ass over there and you stay there too. Don't come back here. Yeah. Oh no, I'm telling you. I already know. My poor husband made that mistake one time. One time. I must have cussed his ass out for 2 weeks straight. He never said shit. He didn't compare me to nothing, not even a positive, like saying, "Oh, this tastes like something I could imagine Gordon Ramsay." Not anything about my food other than, "Oh, this is really, really good, babe. Thank you." Yeah, nigga, that's what you're supposed to say. That's all you're supposed to say. Can I have seconds? Okay, is there enough left for me to take for lunch so I can show it to my coworker? Things like that. That's what you should be saying when somebody takes the time to shop and cook for you. Okay, so let's see what else happened. This part about her ancestors tapping on the shoulder, that was funny. She says, "So what's wrong with mine?" He shrugged and said, "Nothing. It's fine. It's just not like hers." I smiled, stood up, grabbed my plate, and put it back in the fridge. He goes, "What are you doing?" And I told him straight, "Since your mom cooks so much better, you can call her next time you're hungry." That's right. His face was priceless, like I had just smacked him with a chicken wing. She's cracking me up. He started backpedaling, saying that he didn't mean it like that, that he's just being honest, and that I was being sensitive. Later on, he said I was dramatic and refused to cook for him again until he apologized. Now he's trying to play the victim, telling me, "Babe, I didn't say it was bad. I just said my mom's is better. Like, is that supposed to make me feel better? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being petty. But cooking for someone is effort and love, especially when you're exhausted and juggling kids. For him to sit there and compare my food to his mom was like some Food Network competition. That felt disrespectful. Am I wrong for saying I won't cook for him anymore until he apologizes? Or is he the one who messed up by running his mouth? Oh no, he messed up big time and he would have to get paid back. Like the next time he tried to call himself putting it down and you'd be like, well, it's time to rank it. Oh, that was good, but it wasn't as good as so and so. Let him feel that sting. See, men, they don't get it until they feel what you felt. Then suddenly the lights come on and the bells ring and rainbows and sunshine and shit becomes crystal clear. But as long as you're the only one hurting, then suddenly, they don't understand, don't have a clue. But when you give them some back the same way that they gave it to you, and they feel that knife blade go into their heart and twist a little bit, then they get a whole new understanding. So that's what you need to do to him. Well, he's gonna be doing it. Basically, I don't know. She must be living because she said home. He must be living with her. I wouldn't live with no man. I had 3 little kids. Even 1 little kid, you ain't living here. You ain't coming here. You're not gonna be here if I'm not here. You're not gonna be alone in no room with my kid. You're not taking my kid nowhere. Ain't gonna be nothing like that. If you in my house and my kids here, I'm gonna see you every time, every second. I want to see you. You sit right there. Don't you be going down the hall. I don't want no shit. I don't trust these people. So, in a situation like this, he would know what I mean. Just wake up. That's so insulting and demeaning. And to say, I didn't say it wasn't good. But, his mother might not have anything to do with that. Don't blame the mama. This is one part. This is one side of the story here. He's the one saying that. His mother just cooking like me. Like I just cook. You know what I mean? My daughter likes my food. Her friends like my food. Every man who I've ever cooked for like my food. But does that mean it would be appropriate for my daughter to go to somebody else and eat their food and say, you know, it's good, but it's not like my mother. See, that would be coming from her. I don't have shit to do with that because I'm just doing me over here in my house. And that's the same thing with his mother. So don't say his mother ruined him. He's ruined himself. He's ruining his relationship by being stupid. And I don't know how he thought to make her feel good. So when people say stuff and they do things like that, it's with intent. He meant to deflate her. He wanted her to feel bad. Otherwise, he would have just stuffed his mouth with some more chicken and just, you know, ate instead of running his mouth. So he did that shit on purpose. Yeah, they work, girl. I'm telling you. Well, whatever he trying to play a game, that shit backfired completely because she's done with him. But yeah, I would have snatched his plate. He wouldn't have got nothing. He said, "Get the fuck out. Don't ever think you eat in my house again. Disrespectful chump." That pisses me off. Question number 6. This is a female, 22 to 27, from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Hold on a second. I need to see something. I'm trying to see something here. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. Okay, let's go on to question number 6. This is a female, 22 to 27, from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Summary of issue. My boyfriend grabbed and shook me during an argument, and now I want to leave. He says that it wasn't that serious. Dad, with 19 exclamation marks. This happened about 45 minutes ago, and I'm still processing it. My boyfriend and I were having a disagreement about our weekend plans. Nothing major, just me wanting to visit my sister and him preferring that we stay home. The conversation was getting a bit heated, but nothing crazy. At one point, I started walking toward the bedroom to cool off, and he grabbed both of my shoulders from behind and shook me by saying, "Don't walk away from me when I'm talking to you." It wasn't violent shaking, but it was firm enough that my head bobbed back and forth, and it really startled and scared me. He let go immediately and said he was sorry, but I told him right then and there that I want to break up. The backstory is about 10 days ago, we were having dinner with friends, and I disagreed with something he said. Under the table, he squeezed my knee really hard, hard enough that I had to grab his hand to get him to stop. When I confronted him about it later, he said he was just trying to signal me to tone it down in front of our friends. You know what I Deb would have done? Why am I so violent? I would have grabbed my fork. What do I have here? Here's a pen. Okay. I would have grabbed my fork. Just pretend like this is a fork and taken it and stabbed the fuck out of his hand with it. It's like you're not gonna move it. You can see that it's hurting me. And I'm saying, I'm telling you stop, and you're not stopping, I'm going to make you stop. And you're gonna be bleeding when you stop. See, that's how I do. I only say stuff one time, and then after that, I start actions begin. I would have stabbed the fuck out of his hand. I said, get your fucking fingers off of me now. Yeah, that is exactly how it starts. That's why I always shut it down. As soon as they think they're gonna like try to grab you. I had a boyfriend when I was the same thing. I was trying to leave because I was hot and I wasn't feeling him at all, and I was at his house, and he grabbed my wrists. The same thing like her. He grabbed her shoulders, but he grabbed my wrists and was like pulling me while I was pulling. He's pulling me in his direction, and I'm pulling back, trying to go out the door. I couldn't get my hand 2 days. Probably like 3 or 4, actually, now I think about it, because it got swollen here. I had like bruising because he was squeezing that hard. And with the tugging of me pulling backwards and him pulling that way, my wrist got all fucked up. So, that was the end of that shit. That was that day that was over. My father was ready to go look for him. I said, no, don't do that. 'Cause I don't want my daddy in jail for murder and stuff. That's where I get my temper from him. So this is really sad. Okay, so that happened. Dad, we've been together for almost a year and just moved in together last month. Girl moved back out. He's telling me I'm completely overreacting, that he barely touched me. He said the shoulder thing was just him trying to get my attention, and the knee squeeze was communication between couples. He said I'm being dramatic and destroying our relationship over, quote, minor physical contact. But the fact that he's using his hands on me, frustrated, wants to control what I say, really scares me. Asking this baby, thank you for any advice. I trust your wisdom and would be listening for your like one of my literally long-term life have been here like 10 years. So they know how I think and how I roll. And I'm telling you flatly, this is how it begins. They start chipping away at your boundaries little in little ways. So they do something, you forgive them. They promise not to do it again, or they dismiss and how important it is and make it seem like you're the problem because you're overreacting, and then they do it again and again. You start then pretty soon after they do it enough times, you start blaming yourself, and then you start turning on yourself saying, well, if I don't do these things, which is like deal with him or try to do something you want to do, then I'm the one who's causing this problem. He says, made me hit you. You made me snatch you. You believe it because you've been indoctrinated. So he's putting you on that path. Luckily, you recognize it for what it is, and you dipped out real quick. Good job. That's how you don't let no bullshit even get a good stronghold in your life. You recognize it for what it is, and you cut the clown loose. Good job. Yeah, you did good to tell him it's over. Make sure you move out as quickly as possible. And when you're moving, have 3 or 4 guys come and help you, and make sure they know how to fight in case he gets stupid and one of them has to lay his ass out. Okay. Boop. Go to sleep. We'll get your stuff while you take a little nap there. Question number 7. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Brighton in England. Some of issue. I need your opinion on this issue between me and my boyfriend. She want to say her dusty boyfriend. Me and my together for about 6 meeting in May and got together in July. Between May and July, our casual dating life went pretty great. We got along well, but I was clear in my position that I'm not ready for us to be exclusively dating. He, on the other hand, made it pretty clear that he was serious with me and me. We had plenty of conversations where I explained that my options were still open and that we had only recently gotten to know each other for me to only be focusing on him. After we got together in July, I decided to tell him that I met with someone in June and slept with him. What did you decide that for? Are you crazy? I told my boyfriend that I didn't want to start his this relationship hiding things from him, and that if he wanted to rethink his decision with me, he could. He was, of course, hurt, and we spent days afterwards trying to process his emotions. Then in January 2025, he's telling me that he can't get over the hurt. He said he's been trying to hide it, but it comes to the point where every argument we have will remind him of that one incident I told him about. He's even more upset that after that night I slept with someone, it was the very next day that I decided that I focus on him exclusively. On my part, I didn't think about how this had affected him, I guess. I just thought that the incident gave me great clarity that I developed feelings for my boyfriend then and gave me the desire to pursue things more seriously with him. That was why I didn't wait it out as I decided to tell him that I only wanted to date him exclusively from then on. Even so, in July, when we talked through everything, he still decided that he wanted me. But now we're in October, he's saying that he just can't get over the hurt. I'm not sure what to do to help him get over the hurt or how I should be feeling. I'm confused because his hurt has caused him to say nasty things to me and treat me differently than before. I made you feel like I should be earning his love back. Or should I not feel this way? No, you shouldn't feel this way. But what you need to do, my dear heart, I'm going to say this one more time. You as a woman have to learn when to shut the fuck up. Okay, one thing you never do as a woman is get with dude B and start talking about dude A or C or X, Y, or Z. You don't talk about no other man. As far as when he come into his life, you don't know nothing about no other man except him. Okay, that's how it should be. You girls who want to get with the dude and talk about dudes who like you and who was flirting with you and who you dated and who you had did wild things with and tell him your numbers and all this kind of stuff. What the fuck are you thinking? What's wrong with you? Why do you think that will help a man like you more? He's sit there and he's gonna eat your guts because A, you too stupid to know when to shut up, and B, you trying to put him in a situation where he's gonna be sitting there thinking about some other dude touching you, kissing you, and fucking you. Okay, that's what you're doing. That's the setup you created in his mind. Now, the only time they usually get over that is if you had a kid. Okay, because obviously you did something to get the kid unless you did IVF. So, your ex-husband or something, they know your long-term baby daddy. Okay, they might not like it, but it is what it is. But you just start talking about one night stands, booty calls, and FWBs and all this with your new dude. What is wrong with you? Why do you even think that's something that you should do? I mean, it's like I'm sitting there wondering what is your brain process and how low is your IQ that you thought that was a good idea? Okay. Now I know you're gonna see this video and you're gonna be like, oh, she was mean to me. You're right. I am gonna be mean to you because you're stupid. Now, what I'm gonna say is you're not gonna earn his love back. You're gonna sit, you're gonna make up, which is what you should have done. See, he can't get over it. That means he's never gonna get over it. Right? He's never gonna get over this, but it'll be a good lesson for you to learn to shut up and take heed to what I'm saying. Any relationship you're with in the future, don't you ever talk about another man to your new dude. Even if they stupid enough to ask you, you shut it down. You say, well, that would be kind of inappropriate, to talk about other men. What I used to do is when I had a dude to ask me about some dude in my, I'd be looking at him and say, then I do my little head cock to the side like a puppy. And then I say, why you want to know all that about some other dude? You want his number? You want his Instagram or his Snapchat or something? What's going on here? No, no, you tripping. I just curious. I said, well, I mean, don't let me stand in the way of love if that's what you really, that's the direction you want to go to. I don't think he swings that way, but if that's, the direction you're trying to go and you want to experiment, I think you're gonna need to find somebody else. Because I don't think dude is into all of that. But I'll ask him if you want me to, and I'd be so hurtful and be so mad, and they never ask me about it again because they know you crazy, you think you're right. I've never denied that I was, had a few screws loose. But you don't ask me about no other dude. And so, ladies, you need to understand that if a dude's asking you about another dude, your sex with another dude, what your another dude bought your relationship in, you got to have enough sense to know that's a trap and don't fall for it. You got to be You shut it down. They ask about last relationship if you're talking to someone else. They don't need to know that. Like I tell them, it's like you should always assume that a single woman is talking to other men. I say vague shit like that. That's talk, she's talking to men because she's not in a relationship. So why shouldn't she? She's not committed to anything. Are you? Aren't you single too? And then they usually be, sitting there looking because they don't like it. They want to play the field, but they want you to only be with them. That's why they ask that question. See, so they can figure out how they can keep you at home and be trying, manage your vacations and your trips and stuff like that, visit with friends and stuff, so they can be out and not be where you are, so you can't find them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Married, living with the baby mama, all kind of stuff be going on. That's why they want to be meeting. Like, say, let's just say we both live. Let's just use Oakland for an example. Okay, we both live in Oakland. But when we want to go on a date, suddenly we got to go all the way to San Francisco, or we need to go to San Jose, or we need to go to Vallejo. We going to Marin County. Why are we going all the way over there? As soon as they say that, then unless it's some like special event that's only taking place in that one location, like a concert, or they just a faraway location, or they only want to be seen at your house. You already know that means he got somebody else that he ain't trying to be caught with. Now you would think everybody knows this by now, but surprisingly, judging by all the letters we get, there's still women out here that's so dumb they don't know that. And I'd be like, wow, y'all, what? How can you be walking and breathing at the same time and you just stupid? You can't figure that out. Yeah, that's how they flip it around, honey. They try to, make it be. That's why I say I'd be like, oh, I don't care about him, but sound like you do. I said I'd be happy to give you his number, but let me clear it with him first. Then y'all can, get together if that's what you want to do. He's very handsome. So I mean, I could see why you would be interested in him. I just be playing with their mind like that, and just with a straight face, you would swear I was serious as a heart attack. And in my mind, I'm just like, oh, I'm so done with you. You don't even know. But let me finish out this game first so I can laugh. Okay, Elizabeth, it's not just some of them, they're all like that. They, they want to feel like they just like all of that in the bag of chips to you, whereas you just an option for them. That's why I be trying to tell y'all the game, before I get old and check up out of here. Y'all better be listening. Question number 8. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group from Santa Clarita, California. Serve issue. I refused to host Thanksgiving after my sister assumed that I would do all the cooking again and my family is having a meltdown. I am 33 and I hosted Thanksgiving last year at my house. It was a lot to set in cap. I had 15 people came before and after, bought all the groceries. My older sister, so she's 3 years older, helped, quote, helped by bringing one store-bought pie she bought at Walmart. I don't know, in front of them Patty LaBelle pies. She took home hella leftovers too, but didn't lift a finger otherwise. This year, she texted our family in the group chat saying, I'm so excited for Thanksgiving at peace again. I'll bring dessert. Except I never agreed to host. When I told her that I wasn't planning to do it this year, I have a smaller kitchen now and just started a new job. She got offended and said I was ruining tradition. I suggested she host at her house or we go to her parents instead. She said her place is too small, she's much of a cook. When I heard that wasn't my problem, she found it selfish and dramatic. What should I do now? You should book a trip and go away for the weekend. I did that one time. Went to Las Vegas over Thanksgiving because they have like the spreads of life, those buffets. Oh my God. You just pay a fat fee and you sit there and just eat until you just explode. And then you get up. You don't have no dishes. You don't have no shopping. You don't have to do no cleaning up, no sweeping, no mopping, no prepping the house, no decorating, no trying to figure out where everybody gonna park, where you gonna put pallets on the floor for those who get drunk and can't drive home. You have to do none of that. You sit down, they bring your plates or whatever the plates over there. They bring you a little drink, and then you go and you get your food, and then you go back and you get some more food, and then when you're done, you get you some dessert, and then you get your coat and your hat, and then you leave. That's what you do. Cause she just trying to set her up to be doing some more slave labor. That's a lot of work. Thanksgiving, I don't know. We do Thanksgiving, but it'd be about 60, 70 people. But it's like over a course of, the whole day. So, and then some come early, same dishes as people who came later because people who come later bring, different food. So it's just be what it is. You come in and you eat because a lot of people have to go to, they have to go to other in-laws' house or some other situation, they have. So they come, they just, house hop, having a little bit here, a little plate here, snack of this, a piece of pie here, cake there. They're all over the place. That's what I used to do. If I wasn't at home with my family, I'd just be figuring out whose house I could go to and bum a plate. But you couldn't, you single. Yeah, that's all I did Thanksgiving. 75 months ago. Christina, you hilarious. Question 9. Female 28 to 34 from Calgary, Canada. Male is also 28 to 30. It's issue. I feel like I'm married to my boyfriend after 6 months. Should I stay or go? Girl, please. If you got to play mama to a grown man, you always leave. I'm 28. I've been with my 34-year-old boyfriend for about 6 months. At the start, he seemed like he had it together. He was confident, good at communicating, and lots of fun. But lately, I'm resentful, and I don't know if this is just a family we're not compatible. Long at my house 6 to 7 nights a week, but doesn't contribute much. Well, you ought to make him contribute. He rarely cooks, he doesn't buy food, and he leaves his empty pill packets in my drawers. He spends a lot of time on his phone, even when my friends are over. When I bring it up, he listens in a moment, but goes right back to his old habits. I sometimes feel like I have to teach him basic manners, like sharing food, engaging socially, or time for himself. He has epilepsy, and while I understand that impacts him, I ask for more effort. When I'm stressed, I want a partner who steps up, but I usually end up managing things myself. There are good parts too. He supports my small business by sharing my posts and putting up flyers. He bought 13 he does plans for us. Dating relationship feels heavy in the relationship. I'm at the point where I can picture having kids in the next few years. Honestly, I don't know if I can trust him to be a parent. I feel like I'd be raising both him and the kids. I've been through breakups before and always got to this point of doubt. But this time I can't tell if it's just a 6 month itch or if my gut is telling me that it's not right. I'm starting to resent him and I can't picture him as a future partner or dad. I'm not sure if this is normal 6 month doubts or a sign that it's not right. How to figure out if I'm expecting too much, if I'm settling for someone who won't ever really step up. Girl, that's what dating is all about. And it takes about 6 months for the man's mask to fall off. 5, 6 months, of who they pretend to be versus who they really are. And that's where you are now. It's 6 months in, and you made the mistake of with him. And so now it's going to be a whole big old bag of drama bones for you to extricate yourself from this situation. So what you need to do is tell homeboy that I don't know who moved in, but whoever moved in, whoever's the original leaseholder, whoever moved in, whether it's you or him, that person start finding looking a place to live. Separate. It's time to separate because you can see that this is not going to work. This is not the kind of relationship that you want to have. This is not going to bring you long-term happiness or satisfaction, and you know this. So why you would want to stick around and try to fit a square peg into a round hole just to say you have a man is kind of stupid. Okay, so you don't want to do that. Where's my water? I like these little bubbly waters. I saw that they was on sale at the store. What's it called? Waterloo water. But it's like it's fizzy. So I drink them and it makes me burp. So be prepared. But they taste good. I like them. This one is black cherry. It's the taste. And it's a way to make me drink more water because I just really like water. Okay, so yeah, girl, you going to It's not the 6 months itch. It's like I said, it's the 6 month reality check. This is who he is. You're finally getting to see it. So all the fun things and all the things he played at, put up at front to get you in the relationship. Now it's starting to fall off. You can't play that game anymore. So let's move on. Question number 10. This is a young man, 20 to 34, Caucasian, Pisces, from Brisbane, California. Oh, that's not too far from San Francisco. So I have issue. My boyfriend is mad that I am going on a family vacation. Now, how do I solve this problem? You go and you tell him fuck himself. Why is this even a question? Okay. I'm 23 and my boyfriend is 32. Oh, wait a minute. Why are you with this old coot? My dad is 77. Oh my God. So he had you when he was in his, what, like 50s? Wow. That's old to be somebody daddy. My dad booked a month-long trip to Asia for himself to get away and have some time to himself. He just surprised me with a ticket to join him for 2 out of the 4 weeks he will be there. The plan is that I'll be staying with my dad in the hotel room. I haven't traveled much, and my dad is generous to take me with him. We are very close, and I think it'd be a good opportunity to spend some time with him, as I feel like I've been distant lately. Yeah, plus he's ancient. You know, Croakville is right around the corner. My boyfriend and I have been together for about a year and a half, and have been seeing each other for 2. He is upset with me because he wasn't invited by my dad or him as a priority. He's not. You're just a boyfriend. I think it may be hitting him extra hard because we previously we want to discuss going to this country together in the future, especially with his mom being half that, and the fact that he has never been there before. My boyfriend and I just went on a week-long trip together as well, which he paid for all of the expenses. He was talking about trying to save up money for the rest of the year, so more travel wasn't really in the books for us. I explained this has nothing to do with him, and my dad just wants to have some bonding time with me. My mother isn't even going. Just my dad and I are staying where we have things, and they're partner all coming. My dad birthed his arms around Thanksgiving, and it's one of the days he'll be gone. I kind of feel bad because he talked about going to this country with his mother before, which I was invited, even though those plans haven't come to fruition. And the fact that I'm missing Thanksgiving, and the fact that I'm missing Thanksgiving. 2 weeks is also a decent time to be away. Though I feel like I should be able to go on a trip with my father. My boyfriend obviously wouldn't spend that much time with my dad. My dad is getting old, and I don't really know how many more opportunities like this I will be able to have when I have him like my boyfriend for the rest of our lives to travel together. Part of me feels like I don't really want to go anymore due to the way he's acting. What can I do to possibly make my boyfriend feel better about this? Should I cancel? I'd like to hear input from an outside perspective of whether I am or I'm not being selfish. I know you're not being selfish. And let me explain something to you. I'm gonna tell you, that's your husband. Okay, you don't owe that motherfucker shit. And that's what you need to tell him. It's like, look, we just dating. Okay, we ain't married. We're not even engaged. So I really don't care what you like or not, because this is my daddy, and I only have one, and he's old. He's not going to be around that much longer. I might, if I'm lucky, get another 10 or 12 years out of him that I'll be blessed to have. I'm going on this trip, whether you like it or not. You're going to get over it. If it's that much of a bother to you, then we can break up so I can go on the trip and be single and see who I can catch while I'm gone. So you make a choice. Either you're gonna shut up and be happy, kiss me goodbye, and wait for me to come back, or you can pack your get the fuck out and we can end this now. Those are your choices. There's no see. Is it me? I mean, the way these boyfriends be trying to regulate is just amazing. It's like you need to stay in your monkey envelope. You don't even understand. You thinking you got some kind of power and influence, like husbands might have, and most of them have too much sense to even let come up with a girl and her father. You know what I mean? That's so inappropriate. So inappropriate. I wish somebody would try to come between me and my brother. Not one of my brothers. No, you ain't doing that either. Especially if it's gonna go somewhere with my crazy daddy. I have to be there to like supervise him. He's a little bit out of control. No, no, girl, go on this trip. Don't argue him about it, and start if you feel it's gonna be a problem for you, start sneaking stuff out the house like a little bit at a time. You got a backpack. You be going to school or work or whatever. Just bring extra stuff in your backpack every day and put it in. Save it somewhere, store it somewhere. Okay. Then when you get ready to go, you have to go back to the house because all your shit will be, wherever it is you're going to be storing it. So you just grab that, go meet your daddy, and jump on the plane. And then you can send him a text when you get there. Be like, oh, I'm in XYZ country now. I'll send you pictures. See you when I get back. Or you don't even have to do that. Let him find out the best way he can. Yes, they do. They need to see an envelope. It's like you in the raggedy ass boyfriend envelope. You ain't ain't nobody's husband. They ain't even, you know what I mean? It's like just all this control they be trying to have. It's just amazing to me. And trying to come between her and her father. And you see the dad, the man is old as hell, and so he had him when he was old. This is unbelievable. Question number 11. This is a female. She's mixed race from Cleveland. She's talking about female who's 28 to 34. So I have an issue. I ghosted someone after a few years of friendship, and now she's trying to contact me, and I feel guilty, and I don't know what to do. I had a friend I met while working retail when I was 21 and she was 27. She's 31 and I'm 25 now. We worked together for a couple of years, and okay, I don't need to know about all that time. She left retail about a year ago to focus on work in my field, and I pretty much stopped talking to her. She called me once the month after I left retail. The first thing she said when I picked up was, "Girl, why do you never call me anymore?" She then asked if she could call me in 30 minutes. I said sure, but she never called back. Since then, she called me maybe three more times, and today she texted me, call, why are you cutting my calls? Is everything okay?" I honestly don't know what to do. I feel guilty for ghosting her because I don't like doing that, but I just really didn't feel she was being nice to me. Here are a couple of examples of what it was like with friends. Number one, she sometimes get rude or backhanded comments about my appearance. She told me several times that she can't get over how different I look without makeup, and asked if my freckles were a skin or medical condition. And in our last in-person interaction, asked if I was balding. And when I said it was just because it looked like my hair was greasy. Wow. 95% of conversations in our friendship was about her bringing me her into her drama and her venting about her drama. She had a babe sugar daddy situation and another man we worked with who was 70 years old. She called me outside work about once a week for an hour or two, but 90% of our conversation would be her complaining about him and how she has to get him out of her life, and I have to help her come up with a plan. But while she was constantly complaining about him, she still accepted him giving her thousands of dollars and have him show for her around. Wow. Okay, she went on and on about some other stuff that I might care about. And then number three, she often asked me for favors, like she just expect me to give her money for free or do this. There were a few times on my shift she would ask me to pick up takeout. I did, and she didn't pay me back. She'd often just ask me to give her 20 to $30. One time when she was in my neighborhood and it was a snowstorm, her friend ghosted her, so she asked me to meet up with her at McDonald's. I did. We talked for maybe 30 minutes. Then she asked me to pay for her Uber home. Another time, she literally called me up, asked me to pay off her 200 credit card bill. I told her I don't have that much money. And she goes, "Well, what's the most you can give me?" I felt super awkward and I sent her $50. Of course, I never got that back. So you got $50 who knows what take out food plus that Uber. Wow. These are just a few examples, but it's consistently what our friendship was like over the years. I haven't spoken to her in close to a year and I wasn't expecting her to text me. So now I don't know what to do. Do I respond or just ignore it? I know it probably seems wrong because I never communicated that I didn't like the way she treated me. But from how I've seen her interact with other people, I don't think she'd be receptive. So I don't really know what to do. Why don't you just block her then? I mean, it's not too late. You can still do that if you don't want to talk to her about it. Just block her. It's like, I don't know, because my friend don't do that stuff. She wanted me out to dinner. I thought out to dinner for a promotion or something. Yeah, she got a promotion. And so I was gonna pay for her food, but then at the end of it, she wanted to order a plate for her boyfriend, and she thought it was gonna be on the same bill, and I was gonna pay for it. That little waiter came. I said, "Oh, I'm paying for one of her." She had like two drinks. I said, "I'm paying for one of her drinks. I'm paying for food, and I'm paying for food, and my food, and her appetizers and this other plate. See what she's paying for all that." This little son, I said, "I said free food, nigga. And if you think I'm buying you all this extra shit, I'm not fucking you." And this is a girl that I used to work with. And I was so blunt and just all my hood rat came out because okay, you ain't, is this the hood rat game we trying to play? You ain't never been to my house. You must not know who you talking with. She, all that I put on in the corporate environment. So people don't really know that I'm a savage. They don't need, I mean, unless they do something to me, they would never see that side of me because they not paying me to see that side of me. But we wasn't at work. We was at a restaurant, and it was after hours. So we wasn't on nobody's clock. And she tried to pull that little restaurant. I'm not fucking you. This is not a date. And so I don't know what you trying to pull, but you're gonna pay for that yourself. So the dude, he says, well, let me, figure it out. So then he figured it out. Which I had already done, my little calculator. So I knew up to the dollar what I, the tax, all that stuff. So he came to the amount, I plopped the market, she plopped, came, and that was that. Yeah, we do. We got to be a master at the switch up. You right? Well, yeah. But I find the older I get, Jim, down, the more and more my hood rat comes out. Like in meetings and stuff. I hate these, these Zoom meetings and stuff. People can see your expressions. So I can't be rolling my eyes and stuff unless I turn my camera off. But they see you, they want to see visually, that shit. I be like, oh, I hate this because I want to just roll my eyes so bad. Or, one time I caught myself doing the sister, my finger was wagging and my neck, neck did a little sister twist. I said, okay, you doing too much now. You need to leave these people alone. They gonna have you saying something you don't need to say. Then they never I would never leave them alone in contact with. On question number 12, female, 22 to 27 for Boston. So our issue, he chased me for 6 months, but as soon as we got intimate, he said he is not ready for a relationship. So I met this guy in January, at the end of January, and we started dating in February. He told me on the first day that he wasn't rushing for a relationship, cheated on his last. Okay, that was your red flag that it's time to deuce out, but you didn't do that. Okay. That he would be open when the right opportunity comes along. Yeah, typical. I said, okay, there should be boundaries. So for 6 months, we were not physical. We just simply went on dates and fostered a connection. We had the same chemistry, and he brought me gifts, spoke to my mom, and met my close friends. I also dated other guys, so I wasn't going to wait for him. Fast forward to the last month, we started getting closer, and I was sleeping over the phone. He finally initiated a kiss, holding me hand, we nook. We were planning a trip in November. He wanted to be nook exclusive, and I asked him if he saw us moving toward something casual or just something serious. He said he wasn't ready for a relationship due to having personal things to work on. He said that he told me in the beginning, and we should have had that conversation before we had. I told him I wasn't going to wait for this opportunity to want me. He that also gave me mixed signals. He still asked me if he could still see me or talk. He said no, needed space. We used to talk every day. I've cut contact with him since last Tuesday. He's just viewing my stories. What do I do now? Where did I go wrong? Well, what you did went wrong was saying, once he told you, like I said, that he wasn't ready for anything because he got cheated on, that is the step, that's the game. There are certain phrases that players use because they it's designed to incite an emotional response of you. Number one is that they are sick. They got some, I don't know, some kind of disease, affliction, something's going on. It's their excuse why they can't give you a sensible relationship, why they can't be there for you a lot, why money and affection and time spent with you is so intermittent and weird. You can't really depend on it. But it's because they have this sickness rate. So that's one. The second one is because they got cheated on. Now those are top two. There's a lot of more, of course. These are the top two. And the cheating one is also a bear that don't expect much from me. Just like the sickness, don't expect much from me. I can't give you what you need really because I'm going to be holding back my emotions because I've been hurt. The other one's holding his emotions back because he's sick. But either way, what you girls need to understand is when you have a man who tells you some shit like that right out the gate, that's when you put him in the wind. Do not try to create anything with him. You don't give him your time. Like I told you earlier, time can't get time back. So when he's trying to let that game out, you say, "Oh, that's so sad. That's so unfortunate. What did she do?" Because you know, man, I'm nosy. I want to hear the story. What had happened to it? But what did you do? Well, what did the dude look like? Did you find out? Well, where did they go? How long did it last? Really? And then what happened? And then what happened? And what you say? What she say? I asked you, see, I want all the details. So he gonna be like reading this lie on the, set up. But just interesting way to pass the time and shoot the breeze. It's not, I'm not really listening to it because it's his real story or anything. I'm just admiring his creativity. And so if I feel like it, I might join in with some of my shit, some bullshit I make up. But either way, it'll be a fun way to spend an hour or so. And then after that, I'll be like, well, I wish you the best. And I hope that, you're able to maybe if I get you a therapist or something to move on because, you seem like a nice guy and you really deserve to find love. But, you're not the guy for me. It's like, yeah, see, I don't know what to do. You know what I think I'll do though? I don't know if there's games on tonight. I don't know if it's this. Somebody mentioned the solar eclipse. I don't really know what's going on. But what I think I'm going to do, I'll do uh, maybe one more question tonight, and then I'll pick this up again on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. I have some time on Tuesday. And then do the rest of the column on Tuesday. And hopefully, whatever's going on today won't be going on, and we can have a regular stream. Because this is when it's like this, people don't even want to watch the replay because it's so unpleasant for them to watch, and I can't blame them. So I'm going to do this one more question after this one. But anyway, yeah, girl, when they say they're not ready for whatever reason, sickness, moving, job, parents, kids, uh, brokenhearted, suspicious of women because cheating on, any of those kind of things are barriers to him being fully emotionally available. And once he tells you that, you don't waste time feeling sorry for him. You can't fix him. No amount of your sympathy is going to make him feel better. Who gives a fuck if he feels better? See a shrink and get over it or some shit. Or, go see a doctor about that shit and pop a pill like everybody else. You got mental problems and emotional dramas and stuff. I mean, there's pills for that. Go and avail yourself of it. But you thinking I'm gonna be wasting my time with you? I don't have no MD. I don't have no PhD, PhD, none of that. So I'm not gonna be wasting my time trying to fix you. You're broken, and I'm out. Boop, and that's just it. Well, because it's the same internet connection. Like I said, I have fiber. It's just fast. What's going on? Usually not like this stuff. What's going on? I'm gonna have to reach out to them and find out what's happening. Okay. If it's something going down, like, a technical issue, or if it's just me, like if something in the neighborhood, or if it's just me. So let's do one more question, okay? This is question number 13. And I could probably have her add a couple of questions to it so it'll be longer for Tuesday. This is a young man, 30 to 41, married from Miami. You, I'm having a really hard time dating after becoming a widower, and I can really come to terms with or understand how the media portrays women and how women portray themselves. How can I keep myself level-headed and navigate this? Okay, I don't understand what you're talking about, but let's see. In the last year, I've run into a problem that I really can't seem to solve or crack on my own, so I'm reaching out to ask you for help. I know the stereotypical response from most people is to take or to go to therapy. Let me just start off by saying I'm already in therapy and that it's a long process, not an instant fix. That's true. I just need some advice. Basically, this is the problem. The portrayal of women in today's day and age is driving me insane. It feels like everywhere I look, sexuality is thrown in my face. I've tried to better curate my diet on social media and the like, but it doesn't matter what I do or don't look at, it's everywhere. That's tricky for me because I have no luck with dating. long story short, I'm widowed and I'm kind of a career guy and also have a lot of fun stuff happening in my life. So dating is really, really hard. And that's on top of the whole game of dating being such a horrendous experience at this age. It's not like I'm not trying. I'm putting myself in position to be evil and working on it, take it in the right level of seriousness where I'm clearly opening to meeting someone, but not dwelling on it so much that I come across as desperate or drive myself nuts. But still, it's internally driving me cuckoo. I'm trying. I'm trying not to dwell on to make myself miserable about what I can't have. When I see women's bodies being thrown into my face, either in various forms of media or by women themselves online, it's a stark reminder of what I'm not having in my life right now, which is also part of the problem because I want to see someone as a person, not a sex object, like I can see all the time. Any advice on how to mentally handle this problem? It's honestly driving me a little crazy, and I should approach it in a healthy way. Did you have this problem too after your husband died? Well, no, because he died before the internet really got big. I mean, it was, I guess, yeah, the web and AOL was still popular then and stuff, but not like it is now. This everything was switched up when began having stuff. That's when things changed. When that technology got developed, it was a wrap. But that was in the 2000s, so I didn't have this problem. What I did, the problem that I had was a little different than yours. Was that guys who knew me, just were being reining it in because they were respectful, or if they thought that because I was in such a emotionally devastated state of mind that I would be an easy target. Still haven't figured out. And it might have been, some of both, like different guys had a different motivation. I don't really know. But they, one by one, his buddies, I mean, they were just inappropriate, saying inappropriate things, trying to get with me or ask me out. It was honestly very kind of depressing because guys he really trusted and looked at as brother and stuff. Because he's the only child, so he was very his friends in the circle, and they just showed themselves to be garbage, trash. I mean, they weren't contacting me to provide support, see if me and the baby needed anything or, how we were doing, if there was anything they could do, help me with car repairs or even just repairing stuff around the house, changing the light fluid, something like, anything like that. It wasn't that. It was about, am I still single? Do I miss having a man? Questions that just were inappropriate. Yeah, it was so, girl, I mean, that was so many years ago, but I still remember it. And I think I was hurt for him because I knew if he knew that they had acted like that, he would have just been devastated because he just really trusted and loved these guys. I always told him they wasn't shit, but he didn't believe me. They showed me to be less, even more not ain't shit than I thought they were. So for you, sir, you got married, and so it sounds like you have a value system where you reserve those kinds of exposure of the female body to an intimate relationship, with commitment and stuff. You just not out here trying to freestyle with every woman that you see, and you don't really understand why they present themselves like they just an hors d'oeuvre on a snack tray for men to pick up. And I'd agree with you. I don't understand how female female energy has devolved to this either. Like, I mean, even like little girls, I saw this lady in the grocery store, because it's been pretty hot in the Bay Area. This little girl couldn't have been more than about 12, 13 years old. And the mama was fat, misshapen, and all kind of funny looking. But she had this little, early teen daughter with like microscopic short shorts on where half her butt cheeks were hanging out. And of course, all the men were looking. I mean, they was looking, and then the teenage boys was, looking like they want to go up and talk to her, but she's too little, she's young. She didn't have any hips yet, skinny little girl, half chested and stuff. But she was dressed like she was on display, like it was something for sale. My daddy would have, I mean, even as an adult, I would have never dressed like that around my family because I know are you kidding me? I would have been killed on the spot. but she had a little girl out, like parading around like that. I was like, yeah, it's hot, but it's not that hot. And she's too young to be dressed like that. Why you got it like she walking around like she on the whole stroll with half her butt out like that? That's just so inappropriate. And so, when you see things like that, and the girls they want to just show all their cleavage, they just even they try to wear clothes to work that they wearing them like, the low hip huggers in that just above their pubic line. I mean, all these kind of just inappropriate attire to wear in professional settings around people's families, in mixed company with other women that are going to be their husbands and boyfriends and sons. There's certain things you just have to be, aware of these kind of things and how you're presenting yourself. These mothers and they are not telling their daughters, the image that you create when you go out is something that people are looking at. And you think you're going to see this person, that might be somebody you interview with in a couple of weeks. That might be somebody who's a professor at your school that's going to, you could have qualified for some kind of, extra credit program or something that they're now not going to pick you on because they're afraid you present yourself like a garden tool. And so, young ladies need to be aware that you don't have to show your titties everywhere you go. Your ass don't need to be out everywhere you go. Your skirts don't have to be that short. I mean, that's like a lady. Have people look at and say, oh, she's attractive. She's dressed so nice. Those clothes are really flattering on her. They don't have to show your ass. All your clothes have to be so tight that people can tell, see your panty lines and stuff like that. You don't have to dress like that to get male attention. And if you're doing that to get male attention, the kind of attention you get is not good either. This man is a married man, and this is what he's saying, and this is why he wrote this letter, and these are his comments. He doesn't know what to do with that. A lot of dudes don't know what to do with it. And then the girls say, like, well, he should respect me, but you're not really respecting yourself. There's a time and a place for all that. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying there's a time and a place for it. Please make better choices about when and where. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's like song with my husband. I was still on the whole stroll. But that's my man. And anytime anybody showed up at the house, I would run and put on, more cover up clothes, like a little sundress over or something like they got them what that you put over a swimsuit. I might fly something like that on. But if once the second the people left and stuff, I was back to the whole stroll. Because he liked to look at it and I liked him to look at it. But that was my husband. Am I gonna dress like one of the grocery store and have everybody else's husband look at me like that? Hell no. Because it's Oakland and these are you know how to act. When you just you could be dressed up in a long dress and they start to holler because you look so feminine and graceful and beautiful, they still want to talk to you because they're like, oh, you look so beautiful. Their famous thing is Miss Lady, you just look so beautiful today. You look so elegant. So they want to say something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a necessarily a nasty thing, but I'm just saying that they're gonna want to say something. They want to compliment you on because of you projecting of femininity. So it could be a nice thing, or it could be they look at you like they want to give you $20 and go in the meat thing. So it's up to you. Yeah, girl, that was really, I'm telling you, exactly, Jim Dog. I've gotten that before. They tell me I'm old fashioned and I don't understand and this and that and all that. I'm like, I'm just telling you, you arrive at this understanding when you're a little older. But there's nothing that you're gonna get further by covering up. You can still look sexy. Your dresses can be well fitted. They can be, just a little above the knee. You still show your legs and all this kind of stuff, but you don't have to show your ass everywhere you go. You don't have to be showing your camel toes. You don't have to be showing your nips. You don't have to be showing your half your titty. You don't have to do all that. Okay, that's not really necessary. And if you really feel that you're that ugly and unattractive, and that's the only way that men will look at you, well, then you have some problems, and I can't help you with that. So, yeah, Nikki. I saw that. I don't really go in the grocery store that much. I'm so lazy. I will grocery delivered in a minute because I'm out, right? So I want to come here and drop them off, but right around the time I get back to the house. Might be 7 or 8 o'clock, but still, I want the food to be, here when I get here, and I don't want to go in no grocery store. I'm already tired. I want it to be here, and so I use the delivery services a lot. But this time I happened to stop in the store and I saw it, and I was like, wow, I would never let my daughter dress like that. They too weird, they're already predatory, and you just, like advertise for the purse. I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't feel good about that. I think that less misbuilt, misshapen as this one was, she was using her daughter as bait to get men to come over so that she would have somebody. That's what I think. So anyway, I don't really like. I mean, you heard wander all over the world. That's the only thing I can, the way since stream change and the advent of internet power, um, our society has those kind of films and sites have greatly influenced how young women see themselves, each social media, how they view themselves, a lot of criticism and comparisons that aren't, aren't really good for their self-esteem. And then, everything is sexualized. I mean, I don't know. So I really don't with your convictions because there are women who do think like you, who don't want to flaunt themselves all over the internet. They don't want to flaunt themselves on the street or at the job. They don't want to do that. It's too uncomfortable. And they were raised with different values. So you just have to hold off until you meet a lady that's in line with what how you think. And then you two will be very happy together. She will never distract you by dressing like a garden tool out in the street. And so you won't have to worry about, anybody getting out of pocket, trying to hit on her or anything like that. She'll be, she'll represent you well around your family, your professional contacts, whatever. You won't have to worry about, how you're going to be perceived. So hold on, patient. That's not the case. I do agree with you that things have really flipped into left field, and that's why I just have no answers for you with why or when it's going to. I mean, I think that's why that's or when it's going to it will change. I don't answer that. But yeah. So we're back on the mail page before I forget. And I'll try to have Candace add some more questions. So we just did what 13. So she need to add say at least 10 more questions, which I don't think will be a problem. And then and hopefully looking at the chat. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be the Tuesday though. I'll be able to start a little bit early at 5. So that would be 5 my time, 8 is if I'm on the East Coast, and that's what 7 if you're Central Time. So that might be better because I'll be around the house, so I won't have any reason to have to wait till 6 o'clock. So let's do it at 5. So see you here Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. That's 8 if you're on the East Coast. But I'll make a show page, and so look for it in a little while, and make sure you hit that subscribe button too. Okay. See you Tuesday.